Hi, everybody. Come on in, come on in. Say hello, say hello. Okay, I'm trying to make this in a call. Hi, everyone. Okay, I think you got it. Maybe not. No, I don't got it. Let's see. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hi, everyone. Come on in, say hello. Come on in, say hello. Come on in, say hello. Happy Thursday. Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. What's going on, people? Hi, Elena Sanctuary. How are you? Um, hello, TikTok family, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Like, what's it called, man? All right. Okay. Yeah. Technology is not my strength. Technology is not my strength. Um. Yeah, technology is not. Yeah. I have no business in the IT field. That much I can tell you. No. Because see, hi everybody. Come on in, say hello. Come on in, say hello. How's everybody's week been? Can y'all believe it's already Thursday? Like, I mean, it was just Monday, like what, 3 days ago, literally. And I'm thinking, so how many people's kids are back in school? If you live in the South, I think most of us, our kids are back in school, if not everybody. If not, then maybe end of the month. But most of our kids should be back in school in the South. Well, I have some friends in Indiana that their kids actually went back to school a week ago, which is really odd because I'm like, okay, ain't that what I need? Like, Midwest area, I think you don't usually go back to school until after Labor Day. But his kid's school actually started a week ago. Hi, everybody. Come on in. Hi, everyone. This is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Back to school next week. And you're jubilating. Leave my girl alone. Leave my girl alone. She ain't worrying you. Just leave her alone. Like what? You can't wait. I'm telling you, sometimes I'm like, so one of the principals like, I was going to confirm information with her, and she was like, we're looking forward to having TJ back in school. I was like, I'm looking forward to sending him back to you. Makes two of us. Looking forward to sending him back to you. Hello from Arizona. How are you? Um, yeah, where's my glasses? Yeah, like, but the summer break went by so fast, so fast. I like y'all don't even know. Like it was just May. I mean, it felt just like yesterday. My oldest graduate, went to his high school graduation just like yesterday, and we're in August. Like what in God's name happened? But this is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. I'm an immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, if it's a case that my firm handles, we can and do represent immigration clients, regardless of the state you live in. So contact information is 334-341-4475. If you are on YouTube and or Facebook, it's scrolling across the screen. If you are on TikTok, I think the heading should have that. For those on Instagram, once again, and I know I talk pretty fast, 334-341-4475. Our website is 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕.com. It went pretty fast. This it's been a hot summer. Now, those of you living in London, y'all ain't wondering because it felt like fall. It's like, why am I wearing a wrap in the middle of July? It's like this is my kind of weather. But then it gets really. It's always raining in London. Like y'all just you blink and it's raining. And it's always raining. Like anyway, I digress. Yes, we represent immigration clients in all 50 states. For consultations, please contact our office 334-341-4475, or you can schedule it easily in our website, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕.com. Same number on WhatsApp. Please, I've said it several times. I'm going to say it again. If you call WhatsApp, you would not get a response. We use WhatsApp strictly for text messages. You've got to call our office direct line. That's when you would have someone pick up the phone. A lot of people still call WhatsApp, and I say it all the time. Lydia is not going to pick up. I disabled it. That's what it is. We have a system. You've got to, everything, all calls have to come through our direct phone line. But if you prefer to text us, then you can do that on WhatsApp. Same number, 334-341-4475. And you can actually send a regular text, the number itself, and we all have the app on our phones or devices. So whoever the message is for will respond. I just always say, make sure you know, because yeah, some people are just some people, you know. So I had someone. It's disrespectful. It's not funny. I'm laughing because it's just really disrespectful. And it's like, how do you even, what category do you put this in? When someone is sending photos of private parts to a business, and you're putting my name, it's just ridiculous. And my assistant is one who opened it, and poor girl, I'm like, poor lady. I mean, she was traumatized for life. And it wasn't even funny. She just really had a hard time. So please don't be sending us anything that has nothing to do with immigration. But anyway, once again, this is Attorney Abisola Olale, immigration attorney. Contact information is 334-341-4475. Let's talk immigration, people. I always look forward to Tuesdays and Thursdays. Y'all don't have any idea. And I don't know if Ms. Abena is on today. Today was a great day for her. We agreed in faith. She's there. I love everyone. Yeah, don't forget to share the live with your family and friends. You never know who might need this information. Follow and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, all at Olale Immigration. I got my girls. I'm telling y'all, I'm blessed. I don't take it for granted. Even when, haters are gonna hate. Haters are gonna hate. I have to head to court with someone who used to be a client before, but it's part of it's part of the game. It comes with the territory. But you got to just keep smiling because you know who defends you. But I'm grateful for those who are, who always have my back, and I don't take it for granted. God has been truly, truly faithful. When I think of my story, I can I can only just say God has been faithful. Mr. Bannon, you have no idea how much I was in court when I got your email, and I was literally, because I kept checking, because I was like, okay, I'm expecting you to get back with me. And we had a long criminal court this morning, and as I was trying to multitask, because dockets were really long, and trying to make sure that as the judge called my cases, but at the same time I was looking out for the emails. So as soon as I can let it a loose screen, like, Steve, my friend is like, what now? Immigration stuff? Like, yeah. So it was just great news. I mean, that was one of the best news today that you give me. All right, let's talk immigration. So this evening we are talking about including your children in your VAWA petition. Can you include your children in your VAWA petition? And how do you include your children in your VAWA petition? What child will qualify or be eligible to be added to your VAWA petition? Does your child also have to have been abused by their abuser? If not, then what is the basis for them being added to your VAWA petition? Let's talk about that, including children in your VAWA petition, unless you live under a rock or something. But VAWA is a way. I'm saying that to say this. A lot of people should know about VAWA, but the thing is, the truth of the matter, seriously, is a lot of people still do not know that VAWA is a way where you can get your green card without the help of your spouse. So basically, if you're married to a citizen or you're married to a green card holder, and they have subjected you to some form of abuse, either physically and or what we call extreme cruelty. Extreme cruelty is a very, very broad umbrella where there's several things that can fit under that. So basically, the way to look at it is, if it's non-physical, then it falls under extreme cruelty. Examples will be mental abuse, financial abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse. What else? abuse regarding your immigration status, manipulation, all of that. All those are examples of what will fall under extreme cruelty. So that is, if you've been subjected to that, you're married to a citizen, married to a green card holder, you're physically present, even if you're not physically present in the country, there are exceptions by which you can still file for VAWA, even if you're not physically present in the country, and you're a person of good moral character, you lived with the person at some point, your marriage was in good faith, then you will be eligible to file for VAWA. It's a confidential process. A lot of people ask me, even today, still have people ask me, hey, this lawyer, anybody, because USCIS cannot use information from the VAWA case against the abuser. So anything you disclose in your VAWA petition cannot be used against your abuser. That's what the law is. The person carries on with life just as normal. The only way they can know is if you say something and tell them something about, and why would you want to do that, right? Okay, so if you are eligible for VAWA and then you have minor children, that's the key. If you've got minor children, can you include those children in your VAWA petition? Short answer, yes. But it also depends. If, as long as, this is what it depends. The fact that someone is under the age of 21, if they're married, however, they cannot be included in your VAWA petition. As long as those children are under the age of 21 and unmarried, they will be included in your VAWA petition, or they can be. How do you do that? Do you have to file separate VAWA petitions for each child? Short answer, no. Unless the child himself or herself is going to be a VAWA petitioner, because it's not just for abused spouses. Abused children of green card holders or citizens also qualify for VAWA petition. So unless the child is going to be their own petitioner, it's not necessary. And not just to go a step further, if a child is even going to be so let's say your child has been abused. You were not abused, but your spouse abused your child. Based on the child being abused, if they file as a self-petitioner, you, the parents of the abused child, can also become eligible to apply for VAWA based on abuse towards your child. But for the most part, I primarily deal with abuse towards the spouses. And I have clients who have minor children, and one of the main concerns is that can they add those children to your VAWA petition? Short answer, yes, as long as those children are unmarried and under the age of 21. The way you add your children are, you're going to list. You do not have to have a separate I-360 petition for each child. If you have minor children who qualify as a child by definition under the Immigration and Nationality Act, then you list your names in your I-360 petition. The names of those children must be in your I-360 petition. Based on you adding those names, there is, I want to say it's page 3 of the I-360 form. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is. There is a part where it would ask you if an application to adjust status is included is being submitted with your VAWA petition. It would also ask you how many applications are being submitted with that VAWA petition. So you're going to include all the numbers of applications, companion applications that you and your children will be filing. Example, you file an I-360 VAWA petition. You have an 8-year-old child. That child was never abused by your spouse. Even though that child was never abused by your spouse, your child will still become eligible to be included in your VAWA petition because they're under the age of 21 and they're unmarried. And most importantly, as long as you get married to that citizen or green card holder spouse before the child turns 18. That's important. Before the child turns 18, you're married to the citizen or green card holder spouse, and the child is unmarried, the child is under the age of 21. In that situation, you're going to include your child's name in your I-360 petition, and then file an I-485 if the child is present in the country. File an I-485 application to adjust status for the child, one for you. Each of you would file a 765 If you want to travel while your case is pending, each of you would file an I-131. So total, you're filing 6 applications with the VAWA petition. So you list all of that. And when USCIS gets your case, they would have the names of the children included in your prima facie determination. So if you've ever received prima facie determination and you have your children's names included, that is an indication that those children are derivative beneficiaries of your case. The one difference between a VAWA case and a regular marriage case is, in a VAWA case, you can actually have derivative beneficiaries. So an example, if you're married to a citizen and you have a minor child, just like a same example, 8-year-old child, you get married to that citizen before the child turns 18. The child is 8. The child is on the 21, unmarried. If your abuser, a regular spouse, your spouse is filing a regular marriage case for you, as a citizen, that spouse would have to file an I-130 for you, and then a separate I-130 for your 8-year-old child as a stepchild. But in a VAWA petition, there is no reason to file yet a separate I-360 because the child will be absorbed in your petition. But based on that, the child would only have to file a separate I-485 application to just status based on you filing as a self-petitioner. That's how you include your children if they are currently present, hello, Ms. Giwa, in the country. Now, what happens if your child is not in the country and you want them to also benefit from your VAWA petition? What you would do in that situation is you still have to include your child's name in your VAWA petition. I had a consultation with a lady, I think I want to say a month ago, and she had someone else who was she had another attorney on the case. The attorney had told her that the names of the children were she has 2 children back in Kenya, told her the names of the kids were already included, but somehow, so when she got the prima facie determination, the names of the children were not on the prima facie determination. So that was one of the reasons why she consulted with me. One of the things I don't ever take over a case that has been pending without doing a FOIA request. I just don't, because I need to know exactly what I'm dealing with. If there's what needs to be done, if there's anything that needs to be done, that's what I do. So we did a FOIA request, and based on the FOIA request, we were able to see that the children's names were not included in the I-360 at all. If you do not include the names of the children in the I-360, USCIS is not going to list them in your prima facie determination. It's as simple as that. So what we ended up doing after being retained is I sent an email to the Vermont Service Center saying, hey, my clients' children's names were omitted from the I-360. We sent in an amended I-360, not a new one, just specifying that we're not filing a new one. We're just amending what was initially filed to now reflect the names of the derivative beneficiaries. Sent that into the Vermont Service Center, asked them to now reissue a prima facie determination based on that amended I-360. We got the prima facie determination, and it has the names of both children now. That is very important, because if your child is not physically present in the United States, you got a child back home, when your VAWA is approved and you've got your green card, then as long as your child was included in your VAWA petition, you'll file an I-824, basically informing USCIS or directing USCIS to inform the National Visa Center that you've got a derivative beneficiary who's going to be applying for an immigrant visa based on the fact that you are now a legal permanent resident and the person was listed on your VAWA case, and they are now eligible to apply for an immigrant visa. That's how you take care of a child who is physically not present in the country, starting with adding them to your VAWA petition. Very, very important, absolutely important, because you want to make sure your child is included. Okay, so that's that. Now, what if you have a child who is over the age of 21, but not 25? Unmarried, over the age of 21, was still under the age of 18 when you got married to your abuser, but now the child is over 21, but under the age of 25, unmarried. Is that child still eligible? We're technically an adult, but is that child of yours still eligible for a VAWA petition, it depends. And here's what it depends on. It depends on if you're able to show, the child is able to show that the reason that they could not file before they turned 21 had somewhere to do with the abuse from the abuser. You have to make a connection between why you could not file before you turn 21 as someone who was over the age of 21 and the abuse itself. And as long as that child remains under the age of 25, then that child by themselves become a self-petitioner in their own right and would have to file a separate I-360 petition, separate from yours. I probably have confused everybody, but that, in a nutshell, is how you add your children to your VAWA petition. The child does not have to have suffered abuse if the child is under 21 and unmarried, and you married that abuser before the child turned 18. You just have to add them to your I-360 petition. If they're present in the country, they piggyback on your petition and file adjustment of status, work authorization, travel document. If they're outside the country and they're going to be consular processing, it's important that you include their names in the petition itself, so that when you're issued a prima facie determination, it lists your derivative beneficiaries. When your case is approved, then they can file an I-824. USCI forwards your information to National Business Center saying, hey, somebody's got a kid back home that needs to apply for an immigrant visa. And that's all she wrote, people. She wants to confuse everybody. I hope not. But it starts from the beginning. You've got to do it and include your child from the beginning. Make sure that that child's name is part of your VAWA petition to start with. Okay, let's do questions. Hello, Titi Lola from Houston. How are you? I know, is it hot in Houston? Y'all in Texas, y'all probably baking. Y'all probably baking that. Y'all probably, yes. I'm sure 𝒂𝒏𝒕 and you see or cake batter. It just by your front porch, it would probably be cooked in like what, an hour? Because y'all is hot. I don't know about up north in the Midwest. Oh, Dallas was 111 degrees. See, that's my number, 111. Y'all just see my phone. Like I either see 1111 or 111. And if is that, maybe that's a cue to move to Dallas. 111 degrees. That is killing. I'm telling y'all. And I do not do it because I deal with migraines, and one of the triggers is heat. And people always think it's because I have maintenance. No, well, that may be part of it, but one of the triggers for me is heat. I cannot, but it's hot in the South. Talashe, it is hot. In Houston, yes, it is hot. Alabama is hot. Everywhere, it's just hot. Like, okay. But hello, Mr. Scene. My VAWA approved in July 2022. Congratulations. Got remarried January 2023. Can still get green card through VAWA, or will they revoke? So generally, you're able to, you cannot remarry when your VAWA case is still pending. The VAWA petition is still pending. However, once it's approved, before you adjust status, as long as it's after the approval of your VAWA petition, you're still eligible to apply for green card without having to have forfeited your petition. I personally just don't feel comfortable. That's just me. I'm a risk taker. Like I take the cases that nobody wants to take. But even I know my limit. I just don't feel comfortable with. I think you guys lost me there. Hi, in Godson, did that come through? Because I'm back on Instagram because I think I went off just a little bit. I just don't feel comfortable with my. Can somebody let me know if I'm back on Instagram? I think I may have lost you guys. Yes, no. Miss Abena, Miss in the Sanctuary. Okay. Looks like I'm back. Y'all can still hear me? Perfect. So I just don't feel, I just would rather my clients be done with the process than get married. And the law is very clear. You can't. I'm just telling you me, because I don't want to jinx nothing. That's just me. But if you get married, I mean, it doesn't stop you. But I'm like, okay, you're almost there. Why not just wait and be done with it? That's just my thinking. But the law allows you to do that. General information, Mrs. Sin, this is nothing to do with your case because I don't know anything about your case. I'm just giving you general information about what the law says regarding that specific issue. Okay. I got RFE I-601. I found fraud, misrepresentation. Can I show extreme hardship from my new wife? We have child together. This is a time for you to sit down with a lawyer and once you're dealing with a waiver issue, that's not something you want to continue doing on your own. And I'm hoping you have a lawyer. If you have a lawyer, then there's no reason why you should be worried. If you don't, you want to sit down with a lawyer and figure out what's the best line of argument for you. Are there any organizations or plans that offer help assistance in filing VAWA if you're financially unable to and in desperate help? I don't know of any personally, but I think if you Google some Catholic charities in your area, you may be able to, or just immigration pro bono or something in your area, you may be, or anywhere, because immigration is federal practice, you may be able to find something. If you have a lawyer that did your I-130 case, can their office help you in filing VAWA? And can you have more than one case with USCIS? Their office cannot help you to file VAWA. Listen to me very, very clearly, people. And I actually had to have someone who had consulted with me confront their attorney, and the attorney did not even say anything. They just withdrew on the case, and even because they knew what they had done was wrong. If an attorney has represented you and your spouse in a regular marriage case, that attorney is prohibited by every state bar rules from not representing you or the other person in a VAWA case. They cannot. Once you have put in appearance for both parties in a case. An example, when I do marriage-based cases, I put in a G28, which is a notice of appearance as counsel for the spouse, for the petitioner, and then another G28 for the beneficiary. So on record, USCIS has me as the attorney of record for both parties. Something happens in the marriage doesn't work out. When the abused party has got to file for VAWA. I cannot now, because at the end of the day, I have information on both parties. So the law and the rules of professional conduct for every state bar, mandates that you cannot get into a conflict in that situation, because now you've got a conflict of interest because you have information about one spouse that you as the attorney became privy to and confidential, that now you can use against the other, and the rules say you cannot. But unfortunately, there's some attorneys who do that. That's just the truth. I'm not trying, but if that happens to you, please understand that it cannot. You cannot now choose sides, especially if the person was paid by your spouse, who was the abuser. They cannot represent you. You've got to find a neutral attorney. Whenever I've got cases that happens in, one of the parties calls and says, "Hey, it's like, marriage didn't work. This is what happened." Immediately let them know, "Hey, I cannot continue representation. I cannot tell the other party that this person says there's been abuse in the marriage." But at that point, that is when it is time to withdraw from the case. Sometimes I will give them a referral, but that's just the way it should work, and that's the way the law mandates. So I just want to take time to explain that because I've seen that happen so many times. How long does it take to receive receipt notice from USCIS for VAWA? It's taking a while. The ones we got today, off the top of my head, I think we filed them sometime in June. I'm not seeing them take as long as the 3 months we were seeing earlier this year, but it's still taking a while. It's still taking a while to have them back. I think there was one we got about 2 weeks ago that came in the month. I think, I don't know, but it's still averaging anywhere from 30 days to almost 90 days to get the receipt notices. You're welcome, M. Yeah, that's yeah, it's what the law is. I mean, that's all I can see on that. Okay. All right, let's see TikTok people. Can you explain recent asylum green card 1 year physical presence? Once again, general information, nothing specific to anybody's case. So the physical presence is filing for green card based on you being granted asylum is, in a nutshell, basically says that the previous rule was once you're granted asylum status, you have to wait a whole year before you can actually file your I-485. With this new policy, the difference is at the time USCIS adjudicates your asylum application, you must have been physically present in the United States for at least a year. So the previous one was you've got to wait a complete year before you can even file. The new policy allows you to file even if it's not a year yet that you've been physically present, as long as by the time they're about to approve your I-485 green card application, you have been physically present for at least a year. So that's the recent asylum physical presence thing. Okay. Since immigration lawyer Michael from Maryland, my question is: my wife divorced me while my I-751, let me see, is pending approval from USCIS. So what is your question? I'm assuming I don't want to assume, I hate to assume, but I'm assuming you are wondering what would happen, right? J Thorne, are you African? I'm as African as they come. I'm a Niger for like you can take the girl out of Niger, you cannot take the Niger out of the girl. As African as they come, I think. So, any hope for I-751 soon? It's still taking forever. It's still taking forever. Okay. No questions. Well, I wanted to say you're gorgeous. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you. Oh, my birthday's coming up. All y'all that were planning birthday gifts, please connect with, there's no shame in my game, Lick Finger, because I just placed an order. I'm not sure here, but I placed an order with Lick Finger. As soon as I got back to the country, I was like, I gotta place an order. Y'all, TJ hasn't been home not even a week yet. We'll go meat pies in law. Okay, maybe not all of them. Half of the meat pies gone. Come on, your tea 1 week. So like, so there's a batch in the freezer I'm not going to take out because it's gonna be gone. I know. I'm hoarding meat pie and sausage roll. Yes, I got no shame. I am hoarding it from Mikey. Lick Finger _ I'm hoarding it for my own child. Anybody that has a problem with that, that's on you. Because, well, why you TJ? But my birthday's coming up, people. A week from Monday. A week from Monday, I'm going to be 45. I'm well alone. Thank you, Jesus. Ignore the gray hair. It's highlights. 45. My mom is on. I did turn 63. Hey, mama. Peleti. And you know Peleti? That's TJ's defender. When if you talk about her grandkids, she's coming for you. But if like who should grandmothers be defending? Their own children or your children? Like I'm confused. If somebody can defend me back in the day, like Well, anyway, yeah, I'm hoarding the meat pie, but um, birthday present. Nobody should send me. Don't send flowers to my office. And just no, I'm not sending away the office me. You need Laura alumni here. Hello. I'm not sending away. That's what flowers are. Don't. I'm not sending away. Just keep your money to yourself. Yeah, you thought I came out defend. Couldn't show me like can defend me. I mean, who's the child? That's your grandchild. I'm the one who's the child. But anyway, I digress. How do we expedite family base I-765? Contact USCIS, and if sometimes they may ask you for additional information and proof. Sometimes they don't. It just depends. But that's how you can expedite your 751. Do you work in EB2 national interest waiver? Yes, we do. We actually got yet another approval yesterday. We got an RFE on that one. We got an RFE back in March, I can't remember, but and then that particular case, so it's no pressure, right? That particular case, it happened to be, I found out after the fact that she actually was someone who worked with my brother-in-law or was mentored by my brother-in-law. I can't remember, something about that. And what I found was like no pressure, right? This kind of thing. Miss Deep, no, I don't like flowers. I don't care for flowers at all. Like I can't even tell you. I don't know why. I just feel to me, I just feel it's a waste of money. I don't like the smell of flowers. I may be the only woman in this world who doesn't. But when I was married, as much as my ex-husband, the Ekiti, we're good terms. I messed a whole lot about Ekiti man. And yeah, Ekiti people, I'm okay, and not getting too much. I think he was just being passive aggressive, even though he knew that I hated flowers, hated till Jesus comes back. Please guess what I got on every Valentine's Day, just to rub it in. I got flowers, and I was like, I know you'll. Anyway, that's what I got. And yeah, Kitty people, and like it is seriously. Like y'all are passive aggressive people. Hey, oh, like flowers a bit. Well, let's see. See, someone else understands. Someone sends me to flowers reminds me of funeral and they dry out too quickly. It's a complete waste of money. It's complete. Listen, I have Ijebu blood in me. My mother is 100% Ijebu woman. So I got 50% of my DNA is Ijebu. I find it like it is a complete waste of money. And I'm not taking care of flowers for a whole week. Why? Don't die. Let it die. But don't waste your money. Send me the money. That's all I'm saying. That's all. It's not hard. Okay. What if you withdrew the petition based on bigamy? Can they still file for Vawa? Yes. General information. Even if you still would have a qualifying relationship, if your abuser you found out was still legally married to somebody else while they were married to you, as long as you were not part of you didn't collude with them, you didn't have some kind of threesome or something, and you found out that they were still legally married, as long as you were not part of that bigamy whole fiasco, your qualifying relationship still stands. So generally, I don't know about your case, but that's that. And that's one good thing about that. You cannot use bigamy, and you cannot have a qualifying relationship when there's bigamy in the regular marriage case. But in a vow case, that does not preclude you from being able to show that you have qualifying relationship. When can I apply for citizenship after green card by vow divorced citizen? 3 years. When will Dignity Act become law? That we don't have any update on that yet. What is the procedure to seek for asylum with B1, B2 visa? Sit down with a lawyer to find out what you need to do. My I-131 is nice and I'm in removal. So what's your question? When can I, how long is Vawa taking? I think I already talked about that earlier on. Can I adopt my stepdaughter? That's a very broad question. I can't answer that. Denied in June, saying I'm in removal, but my removal proceedings dismissed in September. Listen, it's USCIS. I have right here in front of me an I-131 application that was sent in with a VA case, and we converted from a regular marriage case to a VA case. USCIS denied it, saying that, oh, they even they rejected it, saying that we did not include filing fee. Now, y'all have to understand, this is what really aggravates me, and that's why I send them letters. Like the other day, they denied, they rejected the I-45 applications for two kids, twin kids, a set of twin, for my client, VAR case, saying that we didn't pay the $1,225 filing fee for children who are 14 years and older. These kids were born in 2013. And by calculation, that makes them 10. So you can imagine, because we've been waiting for them to get their EADs so they can use that and get social security numbers and all that. This we just wasted, and we had to wait 3 months for them to send the mother's receipt notice. So for 3 months, they held into these cases, not rejected them, saying they were 14 and older when these kids were born in 2013. So you can only imagine what my cover letter stated. Because when they get me to that point, y'all don't want to see me angry. I'm telling you. When they get me to that point, so my cover letter, I think part of what I said in my cover letter is maybe y'all should learn how to do calculations and actually be more diligent rather than waste people's lives, especially people who have been through enough trauma. Anyway, Laura Kosha, we got the receipt notices today because I sent it back sent it back with that cover letter, got the receipt notices today. It's USCIS. So what I would say to do is include, I'm assuming you did, but if you did not include a copy of your removal, the order from the court dismissing or terminating your proceedings, they will not look into it. If they just, I can tell you, they probably just went on the EOR website, put in your alien number. The alien number probably would show, but it would have the note saying proceedings terminated or dismissed. But rather than take time to look at it, they probably said, okay, your name is showing up, end of story, your removal proceedings. This one right here, they said we did not include filing fees, even though the cover letter lists, hey, a copy of the I-485 receipt notice showing fees paid in bold red font. It's USCIS, people. So just send it back. Let me send it back and probably use bold red font so they can see. Yeah, I get frustrated with things like that. What to do next? My husband and son I-130 is still under review. They're in Nigeria. If you have a basis to ask them to expedite it, then you can. Thank you, Mr. Sanctuary. Can I file for VA while my wife's I-130 is still on? She is abusive. Yes, you can. How do I transfer the priority from my I-130 petition to my 5-hour case? So that's what they're supposed to do. And what I do in my firm is every client that we have an I-130 that is pending or that was withdrawn, that was revoked, that was denied, any of those, the law allows you to transfer your priority date. I include that in my cover letter. Whether or not they will, the goal, the point of it is so you don't have to wait the whole 33 to 36 months. But whether or not they actually comply with that is another thing. But the funny thing is, when you get your VA case approved, your priority date, if you've had a I-130, and especially if you notify them, the priority date on your approval notice will have the priority date of your I-130, but they may not have worked on it as quickly as they should. Yeah. Here, that's that. But anyway, okay. Oh, I just remembered something. Let's see. Bear with me, people. Before I forget. I don't want to forget. Ah, there we go. Hold on. Mm, said something that made me remember something. Can I file for Vawa after divorce without my knowledge? How long ago was the divorce? If the divorce happened, if it's still less than 2 years since the divorce happened, then you're good to go. If the divorce has been more than 2 years, and you may look into, and this is going to now fall within state specific representation, because that's what family law is. You may want to consult with a family law attorney in your state and see whether or not you have a basis to go back to court and file a motion to reopen based on lack of service or whatever the case may be, in your. But those are the two options you would have to be able to pursue that. Okay, answer that. Okay. Is there any possibility to cancel interview when it's already scheduled? Very possibly to cancel interview when it's already scheduled and they received. And they received what? And they received your medical response. If they scheduled an interview, so let's put it out there. Is it possible to still have an interview scheduled even after USCI sends you an RFE for medical? Yes, absolutely yes. I'm seeing more of that happen now. It's a good thing if you get an RFE for medical. That's an indication that most likely they're going to waive an interview in your case. But I'm seeing that happen, and I think 2 cases so far where they send an RFE for medicals and then they send a receipt notice. Interview notice for an interview. How do I use my business a petition for myself as an immigrant? Sit down with a lawyer to talk about that. Okay, let's see. Do you need to include medical information for VAW? What do you mean medical? Do you mean your I-693? If that's what you mean, then you can do that if you're filing your 485, because that's what it goes with. Can I adopt my stepdaughter after my wife I-130 denied by USCIS? You can, but adoption you're going to have to talk to, because the last thing you want to appear to be doing is circumventing immigration law. So talk to a family law attorney in the state you live in, first of all. But there really isn't that. If your wife's I-130 was denied for lack of good faith, then it would affect your child, your stepdaughter. If it was denied for something else, a stepfather stepdaughter relationship can still survive even a denial of. But the only issue is just that generally the principal beneficiary, which will be your wife, has to get a green card first before the derivative beneficiary. There's no derivative when it comes to citizen relatives, but that relationship can still survive if it's, as long as it's not a denial based on good faith, then it should still be able to survive on its own if you've carried on a relationship even after a divorce, after denial. But that's something you want to talk to an attorney about. My mom filed VA in April 2021, received combo card and 4 prima facie. How long for decision? Usually VA is taking anywhere from 33 to 36 months. Can you marry someone? Let's see. What country am I from? I'm from Nigeria. Okay. Can I submit an inquiry on my VAWA case I filed February 2022, but my I-130 priority date is January 2021. I don't think they're working on cases received on or before January 2021 yet, because it's averaging 33. If you put in your priority date from the I-130 on the USCIS.gov/present times website, then it would tell you the earliest date that you can send in an inquiry to USCIS. Okay, let me go to Instagram. Hello, Blue Trillions. How are you? It's been a minute. How have you been? Okay, back to school next week. Y'all happy to be sending your kids. Just scheduled an econ station with you. Can't wait to talk to you. Also, I'm looking forward. I don't know your real name because y'all all use. Let me see. I can see real quick. Because my calendar, y'all, you gotta love technology to some extent because it just updates itself. Oh, okay. Okay. Now I see about 4 within, so I don't know. So I still can't figure out which. Well, anyway, listen. That's why I have someone to help me deal with that. Okay. We have tried for the teachers this past 3 months. They can have their kids back. Isn't that the truth? Teacher, Sherry, but this 3 months, it's been too long for us. Here they go. Here they go. Have them back. We're done with them. You can have your children back. Got my notice of action. How long will it take before about metrics and interview? That's another question I can answer. Let's see. Please don't forget to share this live with family and friends. You never know who might need this information for real. All social media platforms is at Olale Immigration. Mr. Benny, you have no idea how happy you made me this morning. Okay. And we represent immigration clients in all 50 states. Once again, number is 334-341-4475. Will my new VAWA application terminate the pending I-130? Generally, no. My VAWA is 17 months gone. My lawyer filed I-360 for me, nothing more. Can I apply for I-45, 765 together? If yes, what are the requirements? Sit down with a lawyer and figure that out, or you can go and Google that. But if you don't know what the requirements are, then you may want to have your same lawyer help you out. If not, get a lawyer to help you with that. Hello, Ralucci. How are you? Let's see. If you schedule an interview and then later receive your response of medical, is it possible to cancel? I think you're the same person. I would not cancel that because they know what I was going to say. They know what they're doing, but it's USCIS, you know it. No, why would you want to cancel and then risk their call center not letting them know and you don't show up and they deny your 45 because they say you didn't show up? So just wait until you go to the interview and see what happens. How long should I wait after the interview to receive an RFP? The USCIS officer says she will send an RFP to send in more documents. That's another question I can answer. Let's see. Mayor 381, good evening to you as well. If IG grants asylum, does one need to update I-94? If one doesn't do that and waits 1 year, does one still update the I-94 or just go ahead and file for green card? Also, does one need to file? I-94 should actually be granted to you. You know, but if not, you can do an info pass because once again, it's your CIs. But that your asylum grant starts from The I-94 would have the date you were granted asylum status. And so that's where the physical presence starts to count. Does one need to file for Ashley document and green card together? Ashley, do you mean asylum document? If you're asking if you're able to file an I-589 asylum application and green card at the same time, the short answer to that is no. For removal conditions, is it okay to send in new evidence if you have moved without USCIS asking? You can, especially most important, you want to notify USCIS that you have moved. Will I be considered a public charge if I collect food stamp from my son while awaiting my VAWA approval? VAWA petitioners do not the public charge rule does not apply to VAWA petitioners, number one. Number two, if the benefits you're getting, the food stamps, are for your son who is a citizen, then that's for your son. It's not for you. So that shouldn't be a problem, generally. What is the process to get a divorce decree in the United States? Every state has its own process. So you've got to make sure that you're following the procedure in the state that you live in. I cannot give you advice on that because divorce, unlike immigration, that is federal practice, divorce is not. You've got to consult with a lawyer in your state. I'll just give you an example of my state, in the state of Alabama. For you to file for divorce, the primary requirement is you've got to, the court has to have jurisdiction over you, but you've got to have lived in the state for at least 6 months before you file for divorce. Nobody in my state is going to ask you whether you're a U.S. citizen or green card holder. That has nothing to do with your divorce process. Okay. My wife cheated and got pregnant and didn't go to my green card interview. My case was denied. What can I do? Sit down with a lawyer and discuss what your options are. If I have a case in court, is it possible to file? To file what? Do you file for EB what? There's EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, EB5. EB what? I don't do all that. I only do EB2. I love EB2s. I hardly do EB1s anymore. But EB2, EB3, EB4. I don't do EB5 anymore. Miss Abena says putting your birthday orders with leak finger. She's probably gonna Sis Laura, Laura Frizzell, but I love her food. I really do. What happens when you're married to a citizen when your VAWA case is pending? What do you mean, what happens? Can a conditional green card be self-petitioned without a lawyer? There's nothing that says you have to have a lawyer in any case, but just make sure you know what you're doing so that you won't have to end up paying the lawyer twice what you could have avoided paying them in the first place. Happy birthday in advance, is Laurie alumni here. Tinu Books, what set were you in? Were you in Faculty of Law? Faculty of Law. Our people used to tell us we're snobbish, especially the girls. I don't think so. Let's leave that alone. I was going to say something else. Thanks for saying the flowers, because some of us would have. No, I must send flowers. Please don't. I'm begging you, don't even say, if you're planning to do nothing else but flowers, just save your money for yourself, because it'll be a complete waste of money. I'm not a girly girl, hey, flowers smell it, and I don't do that. I don't do that stuff. I'm trying to stop cussing people, so help me out. But no, leave the away where it is. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. I'm telling you, it comes with food now. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. My mom said you see that 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Share them money. I want 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 today. Ever more. See, I can talk about 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂💏 because I'm half 𝒊𝒎𝒑. So hey, it's my sorrow 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂. I'm talking about myself. But 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂💏, please. So one of I don't know if my mom is still here. When we went to London, one of my ex-boyfriend back in the day, because my mom turned 17 in April, brought flowers from my mom and an envelope. And my mom looked at the flowers. Yeah, it's good, but with those flowers, it was the envelope she wanted to see. That's what I'm talking about. Because like just leave the away alone. Kilo and envelope. Now we're talking. So just saying. I'm just saying. Haven't approved I-130, but my I-45 is not approved yet. But I received scheduled interview at the same time. I have one case that I've been trying to, call them. They probably would tell me to stop calling after a while, but I was like, in my case, that's the very first time I'm having that happen when an I-130 approved and the 45 is still pending. That's the very first time in almost 10 years that's ever happened. Knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't happen again. Hello, Epic Movement. How are you? That's my birthday mate. So Epic Movement is also an August 21 baby. All the Leo babies, raise your hands. If you're a Leo baby, raise your hand. One year are difficult, but I don't think that's true. Can I expedite my VA? No social security number or work permit filed over. Why didn't you file that? I think I already answered that. Island Girl. Already answered your question. Madam, I beg, I want to ask you questions. Aries identity. Ask you a question. Y'all don't send, because Lydia, my girl who does our social media, gets a lot of questions. And people get mad at her when she says, I can't answer your questions. I'm not an attorney. And the attorney answers questions in paid consultations. She is delivering. She's the messenger. Don't shoot her. Deal with me if you've got a problem with that. I don't do free consultations. I don't. This is free consultation. So if you want to have a general idea of what the answer to your question is, this is a forum for that. If you're going to send a DM, you're going to get her. She's going to tell you she can't answer because she can't. That's going to be unlawful practice of law. She can't do that. I'll be liable for that. So all she can do is to let you know, hey, I can send you the information to set up a consultation, or answer very, very generic general information like, hey, do you guys do this? And she knows what we do and what we don't do. That's very straightforward. So please ask your questions now. Hello, Carl. How are you? I want to receive work permit or social security until VAR is approved. Cannot expedite since I need to work to pay for my psychological treatment. Did you file? So lucky one, did you file an I-45 with your VAR petition? If you did, there's no reason why you're waiting to receive a work permit when your VAR is approved, because you can get a CNI work permit while your VAR case is pending. So, or unless you just file the VAR petition by itself. Is age gap? Does age gap matter as much in I-360 than in I-131? It does. There's no difference, because good faith is good faith. And if it's going to be a red flag in a regular case, it's going to be a red flag unless there is reason to show that the age gap was part of the abusive manipulation or control. It just depends on how that affects, how that is implicated in your case. Can I work with you during the consultation to create an expedited letter to the USCIS for my right case? No, you cannot. That's not what a consultation is for. Let's see. Oh, my mom said she's so okay. Well, like I preserved the flowers for a week. What's BC? Okay, that's good. See, my mom does better. Martin Jufla, I know this since day one. That's just me. I'm just being, because that's what I used to do. Anytime my ex-husband gave me flowers, it was gone the next day. I just don't have the time to be watering plants. I don't have, in my house, if you come to my house, I have plastic flowers because I love the decoration, the decorative look. I don't have any real plants in my home because I do not care to water anything that is not human. I don't want human doing. Come on, so what's no, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. But yeah, man, that's true. I remember growing up in 1004. My mom had this hibiscus plant and all that, and that thing drove me insane. Like, why? Okay, MZ underscore T335. Okay, looking forward to that. Can you touch point annulment marriage in Nigeria? Marriage that is less than a year? I cannot because I don't practice in Nigeria right now. Lucky. So you filed an I-485. Then if you filed an I-485, then you should be able to file a C9 category work permit. Okay. Okay, so you sent in the 485 and 765. The next question I have for you is, on your 765, did you select a C31 or a C9 category work permit? If you did a C31, then you're not getting that until your Vawa petition is approved. But if you want to get a work permit while your case is pending, then you need to file a C9 I-765 application, C9 category. So that may be the issue that you're having. Let me know if that's what's going on, because there's no reason why. I mean, can annulment instead? I'm assuming you mean, can you get annulment instead of divorce decree? Once again, divorces are very state specific or country specific. I don't practice. I'm licensed in Nigeria, but I don't practice there. So whether or not you qualify for an annulment instead of a regular divorce, there are reasons. There are grounds by which you can file for annulment. Get the lawyer back home to answer those questions for you. I believe I put C9. Okay, you put C9 and 18 months. Go check. 18 months is way too long for a C9 category work permit. That's a year and a half. I just don't see why it would take that long. Just verify. You may shock yourself. Probably you put a C31. And if that's the case, then you can go ahead and file a C9 category work permit. Okay. All right, people. I think that's all the time I have. Vawa was approved in 2020, got green card in 2021. Can I do my children as derivative beneficiaries now? Or is it too late? If you never included them, then you probably would have to now just file regular I-130s for them. Okay. Which state are you in? My office is based in Alabama, but we represent immigration clients in all states. Immigration is federal practice. As long as an attorney is licensed in one state, they can represent you in any state. So that is, so yes, we represent immigration clients. How long should it usually take? Work permits can take anywhere from 4 months to 9 months, but I just don't have any C9 work permit that's taking even up to a year off the top of my head. I can't think of any. So thank you so much. I pray God's continued blessings over you. Thank you. That's all I ever asked for. Really, the best y'all can do for me is just keep me in prayers, because that's the greatest gift you can ever give anybody. And then meat pie and sausage rolls. But anyway, but in all this, but we're all dealing with our kids going back to school. Getting everybody starting a new grade because it's a new school year. But some of us immigration statuses still haven't changed. The seasons changed, and it looks like we're stuck in one place. But see, you're not stuck somewhere. There's a reason why. Sometimes your delay, hatred and amazing person, thank you. Sometimes your delay that we think is a delay, it's not necessarily a delay. Sometimes things we wait. God makes us wait for things much longer, so that when you get it, you appreciate it that much more, because it didn't come easy, quote unquote. Nothing is not planned by God. If it's at the set time, it comes. But even as we go through transitions of school starting, someone like me, I have my oldest heading to college. I know it's going to be an adjustment for the whole household. But then some of us still have to deal with status issues and trying to figure out where we stand. But just know that God remains in control. He remains God, the same one yesterday, today, and forever. He doesn't change. He can never change. And there's nothing that God has promised us that will not come to pass. It has to happen, because the Bible says not an iota of his word will go back to him without being fulfilled. It cannot come from God and then it would not manifest that which he sent it to do. So I pray that we'll continue to just hold each other up in prayer. Yes, Mr. Ben, and just like you and I agreed today, we didn't know how that was going to turn out. We'll see how God worked that out. Even though it took them forever, but at the end of the day, right, the heart of the king is in God's hands. So let's just keep agreeing together in faith. Where 2 or 3 shall gather, there in your midst he is. As long as we keep agreeing in faith, knowing and speaking things before we see it, just knowing that it will work out for our favor at the end. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And for those whose kids, my kids started school officially today, first full day of school, 8th grade. TJ, my 12, he's gonna be 13. TJ's birthday is the day before mine. So if you're wondering why he's mouthy, it's because he's a little baby like his mama. I'm just glad that kid didn't come as a girl, because this house would not just contain both of us. But even as we're transitioning with our kids, just remember to also lift yourself and all of them in prayer, and just a word together as our kids start this new school year, as those who are transitioning to college, from high school, from middle school to high school, from elementary to middle school. I pray for God's guidance, God's grace upon them, God's protection around them, God's hedge of fire. The fire of the Holy Ghost will keep them and protect them. We'll pray for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that our children will continue to stand up for greatness, stand up for excellence, for brilliance, that they will always be at the top and never at the bottom, that God will continue to make room for them in spite of all, that God will elevate all our children, that our labor over them will not be in vain, that we shall, God willing, all reap the fruit of our labor in Jesus' name. Bye.